This video is to help understand how to run reports and check for errors before uploads. So I am in the district office, but if you were one of the school secretaries, you can click on your school. You would need to click the students that you want to collect the data for. So if you want to go one grade level at a time, you would click the grade level. So let's say kindergarten, you would want to make sure that all of your kindergarten students are chosen. Go to report works and then the state tab. These are all of the reports that will need to be run and uploaded as files to the state of Illinois. Well, most of them at least. The first one that will need to be checked is the demographics and enrollment. If you are running pre-K 3 or 4, you want to make sure that you're doing the Illinois demographics and early childhood, as that is a different spreadsheet with different data. So right now I've chosen kindergartners, so I'm going to do demographics and enrollment. And you can read up here the information for the report and how to check what you need to check and click what you need to click and enter information that you need to enter. So I have 69 kindergartners at Central. I'm just clicking this because this will save my format for the next time I come to this. I don't want to keep entering in all of this information. So here's my RCDTS code for Ridge Central. It is this beginning part of the number and 03 at the end for Central. It is 04 for Lawn and 05 for Finley. So if you're running reports for your specific school, you want to make sure that that RCDTS is associated to your school. You also type it in. If you type it in wrong, it will populate incorrectly as well. Start date and end date. Remember, your pre-K students are going to have a different start date. And again, just so that it saves for next time, I always just click here and I'm going to run it now. You can schedule it if you wanted these reports to be sent to you. You could run them and schedule them like every Wednesday night so that you can go over the errors within. And we're going to go ahead and submit. It's going to run in the background of my report queues, and you can continue to refresh and it'll put it down below, which is here. And I've got my completed. You can also email this file if you needed to do that as well. Now, remember, through All PowerSchool, those reports come up as a text file, so you will need to change it to a CSV in order to read it. It's very important to understand that the data within PowerSchool is all correct for the state upload. So you'll notice that this is a 9-digit number. This is their state number, it's 9 digits. This is their local number, it's 9 digits. Their female, male, gender is 02. You'll see the leading 0. The date is month, date, and 4 numbers, 4 digits for the year. All of this information has the leading zeros where there does need to be a leading 0, and the credit course is 1.00. The problem that happens is when we save this, in order to better read it, correct it, and understand it, we have to save it as a CSV. So I always save mine on the desktop for easy access. You change this save type, file type from the text to all files, and I always just put in that CSV at the end. Now what I can do is I can go to my desktop and I can open that file up for viewing. So here are the Ridge Central kindergartners. Now you'll notice there's a header at the top. This header does need to be there for the uploads to the state, but you'll notice that each column does not have a header. So in order to determine what each one of these fields are, you do need to go to isb.net and go under the system links here for quick access to student information systems. And then at the bottom, you'll see the SysExcel templates that the state requires. Since I am currently running demographics and enrollment, I come here, I make sure don't go yet to demographics and early childhood. That would only be if we're running pre-K. We would go here to student demographics enrollment, and we would want to open up the template. So what you'll see is the headers. So what I like to do is take these headers from that template and insert them onto the field, the file that I just downloaded from PowerSchool. So what you'll notice is student ID. This is the state ID here in the first column. This is the local ID that you created when entering that student into PowerSchool. Last name, first name, lineage, which would be junior, senior, the third, whatever, last mother's maiden name, race code, gender code, birth date, so on and so forth. So you'll notice that when we transitioned this file from a TXT, which is a text file, to an Excel file, those leading zeros went away. The the 2-digit and 4-digit for the birth date went away. That's because we changed that file from that text file to an Excel sheet. So what I would suggest you doing right now is running this for each one of your grade levels and then checking this data based on the title. So reading first indicator should all be 2s. Reading improvement block grant should all be 2s. Title I indicator should be 11. So this means no, this means no, this means school-wide. Eligible for immigrant education program, that would be based on the EL data that had been entered. Home language, native language, these should always be matching. Arabic, Arabic, English, English, Spanish, Spanish. Homeless indicator, again, 2 means no. Migrant indicator, 2 means no. Private school student, 2 means no. Military connected student, 2 means no. So on and so forth. English indicator, again, that's going to EL indicator. That's going to be determined by the EL data that was entered. IDEA is going to be determined by the data that the special ed department had entered. Alternate assessment is the same. Dual language, none of our students are dual language. So that's what the 3 stands for, is not a participant in dual language program. This language of instruction, you'll see here that some of the students have this marked. It is not a mandatory field, so it does not necessarily have to be there. We've got these here, we've got enrollment dates. So what you're going to want to double check is to make sure that your student enrollment dates are correct. Please make sure that you are not changing any students that enrolled after the first day of school, or any dates that might be prior to. This would be based on possibly a student being placed off-site where their calendar started earlier. The RCDTS should be per school. And then the serving school would be, again, if you have a student that is placed off site, that number is going to be different. Entry 15 means kindergarten. The school year is the year that they end on, so 23 would be correct. This should be 1.00, which again, when it's pulled from PowerSchool is correct. When we transition from the text to the Excel, it changes. And then tuition received is 2, because we do not accept tuition for any of our students. So again, I would suggest you going through and making sure that all of that data is present in for all of your students, and that any data that might look off, that is double checked.